Yes, which I thought was very interesting.
Yes.
But look, shall we get straight in?
Sure.
I guess I really want to just paint a very brief picture on what you do and some of the things that you can help people with your gift. And if that leads into the money and things like that as well, that would be amazing.
Okay, well, money is all about it. So my work is I'm a extremely like super powerful sorceress, seer, shaman, cosmic sound alchemist. So they're all literally different spokes of the same wheel. And the reason that I call myself those titles is there isn't a word or words that I can really hone down to describe what I do, because it encompasses very many areas. And so the work I do is the melding of ancient wisdom, the unseen realms, which is 96% of the known universe is actually unseen, and sound medicine. So melding the unseen realms and sound medicine along with ancient wisdom into money, business, health. Mainly those are the three areas. So money, business, and I call it lifestyle. So it's money, business, health, and relationships is where I work with my clients on. And it's mainly money, business, and health. So those are the areas. It's literally, my clients are high-profile global business leaders. So as you can imagine, they are the super wealthy, the rich listers of the world, and they come to me to explore the energetic nuances of how they can actually tap in and enhance their inner genius. And it's not me giving them things to do, it's more getting them to a state of recognizing their unique essence so that they can expand and grow to the next level. And the work that I do allows my clients to elevate their life and business to new heights of dazzling success, as I like to call it. So it's pretty much an elevation at each level, because as consciousness, we're all simply consciousness playing different roles. And as consciousness, our role literally and the reason for being and our purpose is to expand.
So delve deeper into the subconscious.
Sorry?
So delving deeper into the subconscious.
It's not the subconscious when I mean consciousness. I mean consciousness. So
awareness.
Everything is infinite, and literally the infinite.
Right.
Yes. So we are literally all, sparks of the divine, and expanding your consciousness, your understanding of the world, expanding into a higher vibratory level and a frequency of being is your reason for being.
Right. And then I guess as a result of that and working in your conscious state or in your awareness, that will then enable success, I guess, or money to flow.
Absolutely. Success, yes. So most people, 99.9% of the world's population, they literally live their lives unconsciously.
Yeah.
It's like you're sleepwalking. And they believe that they're, your three-dimensional world, which is everything you can touch, feel, smell, taste, they believe that is it. But even quantum mechanics and quantum physics is actually, this is science, has proven that what you see and what you know, the world, the cosmos, even the planets, it's only 4%. So 96% of everything is unknown and unseen.
Which is really scary, but like you...
You call it scary. I call it fabulous. Amazing just excites me so much, because to me, the unseen is actually not unseen. To me, that's my level of mastery, is to be able to master the energetic realm and to be able to mold it, to see it, to feel it, to know it, to understand it, and to enhance it, and then meld that into the physical world of business and the physical world of health and well-being, and the physical world of relationships, and the physical world of actually living from a beautiful, blissful state, from a relaxed, rejuvenated state of being. So you create, you make money, you interact in your relationships, and your health and well-being and your entire lifestyle. It's actually born from and created from and inspired from a state of beautiful, relaxed state of being, as opposed to being stressed out and chaotic and fueled by drama and fear and lack, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And even as I said, scary, I think those words, it has a negative, whereas I think what you're doing is so positive.
Yeah. Actually, see, the words you use actually, to me, it's like a spotlight. To me, not only can I actually, literally see through someone and see into their body, but I can literally sense their essence, and I can see it, and I can feel it, and I can smell it, and I can taste it, and I can hear it. But also at the same time, your words actually very, as I say, show exactly what's going on in you, even though you may not be conscious of it.
Yes. I did hear the phrase biological robots, and and I feel, as you said, so many people, that is the way they function. They're so unaware of their day-to-day. And look, I absolutely would fall victim of this, and I'm sure many people in my, my circle of friends, we do. You sometimes get caught up in the doing, not the being.
And yes, being. But the whole point is, if you are in the being, the doing takes care of itself, because you don't actually have to push and struggle and push, because and especially in the world of business, the whole thing is, the to-do list, and they get the things done, and action. But what most people don't realize, and obviously my clients know this because they hear it till I'm blue in the face, is once you start, say for example, I feel called to give this example. May I do that?
Yes. I was going to ask for some examples.
So, for example, say that, say you're launching some kind of let's take you. So you're launching a retreat, okay? And you're doing all of the things. So this is a project we're talking about.
Yes.
And you're doing all of the things, and then, but most people will come from a state of panic and fear and stress, and feeling that they are running out of time, or they don't have enough resources, whether it's money, energy, or time, or maybe even relationships and contacts. So when they're coming from that state and they're trying to do things, whatever they create out of that will give them more of that. So they will actually then have more problems of not having enough of this, or running out of time, or being even more stressed, because the results will actually only reflect the energy from which it was created. So I flip this on the other side, and I say, okay, if you start from a relaxed perspective, then what you create will only give you more of a relaxed and beautiful and smooth and easy flowing event or retreat or project. But most people, they keep doing the thing, and then after a certain point, energetically, when you keep doing, instead of releasing that and just surrendering and literally surrendering to then receiving, if you don't do that, you start to repel. And that's when things start going wrong. So everything was lining up, and then all of a sudden everything starts to topple down. Does that make sense?
Oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I always feel like you are speaking directly to me and what I've been doing.
That's usually what happens. So you've got to forgive me, because It'll just come out. It will feel like whoever's listening to this, they will feel like that I'm actually speaking to them. So any analogies or examples that I pull out, it will be relevant to whoever hears it, whether it's today, tomorrow, or in 10 years' time.
So, I mean, it sounds easy, but having just recently...
No, it's simple, but the doing is the hard part.
Yes. Yes. So what are some things, simple things that we can start doing to create that really positive shift, to start working in a state of awareness and putting positive energy into projects? Okay.
So it's also a lot of the time I don't like to I'm kind of not a fan of terming things positive or negative, because there's a lot of energy that's attached to it. Because at the end of the day, the world, the universe, the cosmos, and everything that is in creation needs that positive. Some things will have a positive charge and some things will have a negative charge. It doesn't mean that it's good or bad. So it's just positive or negative. So positive doesn't mean good and negative doesn't mean bad. And that's where people have got kind of the mixed up.
Yeah, and society, we just want to put things in a
box.
In a box, yeah. So thank you for, making positive or negative. It's like emotions, right? Emotions are... they're all good.
Exactly. Creation and destruction are not good and bad. They just are. It's energy. Then all of it is. It's the human brain that colors it and says, oh, this is good and this is bad and this is black and this is white. Well, no, it's all grey.
Okay, so bringing it back to changing your awareness, is it an intention thing or how do you work, I guess, is my question.
Okay, so let me give you like the easiest thing that anyone can do. And then obviously from there it leads to, being more specific and knowing where and what and how and all of that. And that's where, the tools and everything that I provide in terms of my Sacred Wisdom Library and everything, that's where you can step into those things. But the first thing that anyone can do is breathe. Just stop and breathe. Because you'll find when you're in that state, you will literally be almost like hyperventilating and just going, your breath will be really short. So just take a few deep breaths, and that in itself can shift you.
Yeah, it does. You can feel it. I just did it. As you were talking, I thought, right, breathe in, out slow.
Yes. So, that's like the simplest thing for like a no-brainer. That's why a lot of the time, like, a lot of ancient sayings and things, it's actually nothing to be poo-pooed, because sometimes, how it's like, take a breath, just breathe. There's a reason why those types of phrases are there, because it's just how your body works. It's how you can readjust your nervous system for you to be in sync with who you actually are, instead of layering all these, other coverings on top, which we'll get to as to, what blockages and everything else is.
Yeah. Yes. And so once is it, as I said, I've sort of just started dabbling in meditation and even just doing that. It is a practice, right? And it is an art. So once you start with breath work, and I know you mentioned we can follow and get some of the tools from your website. What else have you found to be really powerful with your clients?
To do what?
Well, if they're, if we go back to starting something with a really, we're busy, but I need to get this done. So I think about anxiety and how much anxiety is in the world. And even when it comes to work, how do we shift that?
So here's like a really these are like, it's like kind of the basics. So anxiety, you mentioned the word anxiety, so I'm just going to go off words that you're throwing at me, okay? So anxiety is literally when you're living in the future. Yes. And depression comes when you're living in the past. And none of that's real. Because the only place that is actually real is not even the present, but just now. So it's always a now moment. So the past is a previous now moment, and tomorrow is a future now moment, but it is always now. This is the only, like you and me speaking in this second, this is all there is right now. So always bringing your attention back to that. And what my clients say with my work is that it gives them deep clarity. And if you come from a place of deep clarity and that relaxed state of being I spoke of, then you are not going to be anxious. Then you're not going to start pushing, and then not stopping. Because when you have deep clarity, you know, I need to do this, and I need to stop, and I need to now focus on something else. It's the clarity piece that's missing if something is out of whack and it's too chaotic and too dramatic.
And to get that clarity?
That clarity, well, that actually is something that I would say to everyone, some kind of a practice, whether it is, you mentioned meditation. I mean, you can meditate. I'm not someone who's actually like gone into deep, it's not meditative states in terms of the traditional way of doing it. I can go into a meditative state literally like at the snap of your fingers. And that's where the power comes in from, because we swap into that state. So you need to have some kind of a practice that you do on a daily basis, which gives you that time to focus on you and literally silence for even if it's 5 minutes.
So we can all do that, right?
You can all do that. And it's, it's free for you just to stop talking, stop checking your phone, turn your phone off, preferably. And also what everyone does as soon as they wake up is look at their phone. I don't look at my phone until I've actually, woken up, had a shower, I've done my morning sacred rituals. Like I'm in this beautiful, amazing, calm, sacred space with, candles and incense and the crack of dawn before the world wakes up, before I even look at my phone. Like it's not urgent for me, because the reason that people are reaching out for the phone all the time is, again, it stems from fear, because you have a fear of missing out on something.
True.
But there's nothing you can miss out on, because the truth of it, the energetic truth and the cosmic truth is that there's nothing missing. There's nothing that needs fixing, because the cosmic and energetic truth is that you're whole and complete. And that, when you experience blockages or obstacles or something's lacking or missing, it's simply, I speak about this in terms of like an unseen veil, but I feel like saying to you, it's like putting a blanket over your essence. So you just can't tap into your true essence of who you are, where you are infinite, you are abundant, you are happy, you are blissful, you are healthy in every moment, but you're forgetting that. So all of the things that I do with my clients is literally to bring their attention back to and to reconnect them with their innate essence.
So explain, you mentioned earlier you've worked with some really high profile clients and really helped them with their business.
My clients, they would have thousands of employees. They'd be generating, millions and billions of dollars, and they're responsible for all these people. So for them, having deep clarity is really important, because that's what allows them to run their global empires.
And isn't that a wonderful thing that these powerful people are? So we would probably, when you say cosmic energy, is that, you know, it is quite, let's say, esoterical. And to think that smart people in high profile positions are utilizing this and are aware of it, I mean, that must fill you with so much joy.
Yes, but what I've come to notice is that that is the reason they're successful.
Because of their clarity or their awareness?
Understanding that the unseen realm is what actually dictates what is in their physical world. You know, most people are like, it's like, there's this example where you may write a document and then you print it out, and then you see that there's a mistake in the printed version. So you go and take some Tipex and you white out the typo, and then you go and print it again, and then you're really annoyed that the printer keeps spitting out the wrong document. But what you should have done is gone and corrected it on your soft copy on the computer.
Yes.
And that's what they're doing. They're trying to shift their, you know, their lack of money, or they feel like there's a block in their level of success they can achieve, or they have disharmony in their relationships, and they have, you know, something wrong with their health, and they're constantly trying to fix it in the physical world. So it's like, you know, let me pop some more pills, or I need to go and earn more money, or I have to, let me find a different marketing strategy, let me find a better sales tool, let me hire someone better to sell my products, let me, I might spend even more on taking my partner out to dinner, because that may actually solve what's going on in the relationship. So they're trying to fix everything in the physical realm, and that's not where the solution lies. The solution lies in the energetic realm, where it may be so many different masks that you're putting on top and covering. It could be childhood, it could be ancestral, it could be from different lifetimes and from different galactic perspectives that are actually influencing your way of seeing the world and making it appear blocked, or that, you know, you are sick, or that there is disharmony. But it's all inside you that needs to be worked out. It's actually, there's nothing outside in the physical realm. And so even sometimes, you know, you could have the best experts, and something doesn't work for that company. But that's because, and this is something that I speak about with my clients, and they're very much aware of it, that the owner of the company, or the leader of a family, their energy dictates what happens in that family. Their energy dictates what happens in that company. The success trajectory of the company is directly reliant on the CEO and the management teams, and also all the people who work in it, because it's all energy. It's like this bowl of soup, bowl of energy, of all these mishmashed energies, and it's not working harmoniously.
Mm. And so energy, it does ebb and flow, and but
cycles of, you know, doing,
yes,
and surrendering. And, you know, there may be cycles of like the harvest, planting the seeds and watering and nurturing it, and not just like going and pulling it out to see how far it's grown and then wondering why the plants are going out. So it's also, you know, relieving. Much of it is related to fear. I find doubts, fears.
Yes, yes, yeah.
And people are, you know, plagued. If you want to move more into the business and money aspect of it, people are usually plagued by their family and ancestral money patterns. They are also plagued by whatever experiences they've had in their childhood and also in their working life with money, whatever successes they've had, whatever failures they've had, whatever fears their parents, their grandparents, their friends, their community. So all of those things are actually aspects that play in your energetic field when it comes to money, when it comes to, the same applies in different ways to relationships and health. So I say, the human body is designed to be, if we move on to health, the human body is designed to be healthy from the day you're born to the day you're done. It really is not meant to get sick. Sickness is simply people not, firstly, if they're not physically looking after their body, but it's also not energetically looking after their bodies in terms of belief systems and thoughts and emotions that have actually gotten lodged in the physical body, because your body is not actually solid. It is literally a symphony of sound, and you've taken things and kind of put them in your pockets in different parts of your body, and now they've gotten stuck, and those areas are in, they're in disharmony. So then they start to develop, cysts and growths and whatever, and then it becomes all the different diseases that of, whether it's cancer or heart disease or stroke or anxiety, depression, stress.
Yeah, it's certainly the more I work in this industry, well, certainly I've been in health and wellness for so long, and it was always about the physical. And I really love that all of a sudden it's like we are not just a physical body. We are so much more. And it is the thoughts, it's the feelings.
Well, there's no physical at all.
Yeah.
That's what people don't get. It's just there is nothing physical. It just literally is all it's all different rates of vibration. That's all. So, the old paradigm is that they start identifying and dissecting and rehashing and trying to heal, their fears and failures and limits and shame and guilt, traumas, grief, stress, sickness and overwhelm. Whereas I look at it like sound. Sound moves through the air, sound moves through the water, and sound moves through form, which is like your body. So even in medicine, you're applying something inside your body or to the body, where sound will literally, or invasive processes, but sound will literally move through you and realign you and vibrationally realign you to a harmony that is actually pleasant and retunes your body, as opposed to all of the notes being all jumbled up and being out of harmony.
And so, this is so fascinating. And did you? Sorry. So I was just thinking.
I'm trying to pull it in for you because I could just go off in it.
I know, and I'm just so interested. And I was just like, oh my gosh! I just saw the time, and I thought, I know I said tomato 30 minutes.
No, but that's fine. Just. I'm happy to go a little bit longer with you. That's I'm fine. I left the time for you, so I'm more than happy. Do you want to? What do you also? I just want to say one other thing. So, because you're in the wellness industry, the other area is so the pill popping. That's one side of it, which is the health side of it, which I think we kind of like touched on.
Yeah, and I actually call that the sickness side of it.
Okay, so the other thing that I want to touch on is I actually, in my book, in one of the chapters in my book, I say aging and sickness is a lie. So just as much as your body is meant to be healthy, because every part of your all your organs and your cells and everything regenerates. It is the most amazingly designed piece of biochemistry, the human body. So everything regenerates itself. So unless you are storing things and disharmonizing your body, there is no reason for you ever to get sick. And the same applies for aging. People are so fixated with how old they are, and when they're 20, this has to happen, and when they're 30, this has to happen, when they're 40, there should be wrinkles, when they're 50, they need to lose these different parts of their body, but it's just all a lie. That's what I say, because I actually see that my cosmic sound medicine is also used by my clients and I as a youthfulness serum.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yes. So, instead of, and how it works is when you're constantly exposed to, like sublime frequencies, then, and you can actually get in touch with your own unique soul essence, because your soul is infinite. It doesn't actually, you operate outside of time and space. So aging happens only inside time and space. There's nothing called aging for your actual soul stream. So when you're constantly in touch with that and that energetic vortex of ethereal energy, it just nurtures and nourishes your body, literally from the inside out. And then, not only are you free of sickness or diseases or ailments, but also you have this vibrancy that comes from the inside. And you don't need, collagen or Botox or surgery.
Yeah. I could ask you so many questions. I just find this so fascinating.
And it's like the monks. I don't know what you've seen. Like if you see, the Buddhist monks, because I grew up Buddhist, I actually, there would be 70-year-old monks and they would look like they're 30 years old.
Yes. And
their state of being.
Yes. I was going to say that I've had the great pleasure of having time with a Buddhist monk, and it was just, I learnt so much in such a short space of time, and likewise with yourself, Sol, you've managed to make something so on the surface sounds really complicated and not to say scary, but it's an abstract way of thinking, but you've just made it so clear and made such good sense of it. No, and I have one last question, and that is, at what point in your life did you go, this is the path I'm taking? Was there an event, or was it just something that you just...
Yeah, about 9 years ago, actually, because I was an international fashion designer. I've been in the corporate world and marketing, sales, branding in the luxury end of the spectrum. That is my jam. That is where I feel comfortable. And so I had a luxury designer label, which was my label. I did Fashion Week, launched it around the world, all of that. And then I also had a luxury magazine that went into the inboxes of the who's who of the world. So this is the area that I play in, which I feel I am innately comfortable in. And all of that was actually kind of showing people how to feel beautiful on the outside. And then about 9 years ago, I just went, you know what? This is who I am. This is what again, you can read about this in my energetic journey and my business journey on my About page on my website. And they're actually not really long to read, but it's actually like a story. And I just decided this is who I am. And I stepped into it, and it was so organic with all my, that, it was all, I had, it was very capital intensive, and there were so many, corporate structures in place that I put before I started, but this was so organic, and it just started from there. And obviously the more I stepped into being who I was, the more my power increases. So my power literally quantum jumps. Like, who I am today is not who I was yesterday.
Yes.
Who I was a month ago and 6 months ago and a year ago, it's just chalk and cheese.
It's so sad, interesting, or whatever, that we put so much fear around stepping into our true self, that we stay in the, not a state of unhappiness, or just a state in not being true to you.
Yeah, and that's also, I have another term that I use with people. I say that most people borrow goals, whether it's money goals, relationship goals, health goals, lifestyle goals. People tend to borrow goals. So they want their life, their money, their business, their body, their relationships, their house to look like someone else's. Now, that someone else who is achieving huge success is doing their thing.
Yeah.
That's why they're magnetic, and that's why you're drawn to it. But if you're drawn to that, it just means that you need to look at where you are really great at. So when, people come to me and say, am I supposed to use, my intuitive gifts? And I say, well, I've actually asked that that's not the type of person I work with. So it's literally you knowing how to use what your gifts are and then stepping into that more and more. And it could be absolutely anything. It could be being the most amazing mother in the world to, being a scientist or a gardener or, a CEO of some company that does some amazing work in the world. But you've got to be you and use your skills and your innate abilities that seem really easy to you. And that's where people go wrong, because they think because it's easy, then everyone can do it. But no, it's easy for you. That's your innate ability that you came to actually grow and foster.
And then the energy flows.
And then, no, it is all energy.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking the joy, the joy you have in your heart. Like, I know when I'm in that flow state, I just.
And then it's, yes, and then what? You're really in harmony.
Yeah, harmony is the word I'm after.
In harmony with who you are, what you're doing, and where you're going. And therefore, when you're doing your thing, then other people are automatically attracted to you. Whereas what most people are trying to do is, how can I make this product more attractive to clients? How can I create a better graphic to put on my social media so that more people buy my thing? Do you know what I mean? So you're coming from a completely unaligned, inauthentic space.
Very, very interesting. So that is so, well, I'm going to say the word interesting again, but I just, it just makes me want to delve deeper and deeper into all of this.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so fascinating. And I do feel, though, there's this real shift where people are opening their minds to possibilities. And as I mentioned in one of the earlier questions, I feel like finally people are starting to look for more.
Mm-hmm. I think that's always been there, though. I think that's like the most ancient thing to do with humanity. Is they're always like, who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? How did I get here? Where to now? And if instead of asking those questions and looking outside, if you literally go, well, who am I? What are the things that actually bring me joy? Not because society or, your parents or family or spouse or whatever dictates you need to do. What brings you joy? It could be, I don't know, pasting things in a scrapbook.
It's interesting. As you were talking, I just kept writing down journal, because I do love to write. And I thought, I'm getting back into the practice of journaling.
And you need to find what works for you as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Don't do something, again, borrowing goals. You don't do what someone else is doing. Do it because it works for you. And that's where I found, like, when you asked me about cosmic, so coming back to the unique form of sound medicine that I do, is that it's not about the tools. The power actually flows through the vibration in my voice, and the cosmic energy that actually flows through it forms those sounds. So it's vibrational frequencies that's actually coming through and then moving through your body and readjusting.
So were you ever a singer, or were you just allowed?
Oh, no. I can't hold a tune.
Isn't that interesting? Because you've got such a beautiful voice.
Yes, it's actually changed it's done something with my vocal cords and everything. It started, I remember channeling cosmic transmissions when I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
And started, it's just for myself. And then when I actually launched my business, Soul Enchantress, and then I actually stepped into being me. From like the word go, I started introducing clients into cosmic transmissions, and that's what I called it, because there is no word for it, because it's literally energy given a sound, and because there's inaudible sound as well. So like the ultrasounds and stuff, that's inaudible sound. So when that started happening, and then it keeps on morphing and changing, and then it started becoming more like chanting. And then I would say to my clients, I feel like, these notes that's coming out now, it feels like this ancient stone temple, and the noises are being made inside that, and they started agreeing with it, and then it started morphing and changing again, and now it's like I can sing such high notes.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know, what you heard was not even at the top, and when it just comes out, I can have this whole conversation because it's completely channeled. It's not my conscious consciousness that's actually doing the work, and the sounds that come out of my mouth doesn't really open wide either like an opera singer. It just literally, this stream of frequencies that just flows out.
Yeah, it's incredible. You have a very wonderful gift.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, thank